Madam Doorkeeper.
Mr. Speaker, the President Pro Tem, and the members of the Senate await entrance to the House chamber.
Madam Doorkeeper, please allow the President Pro Tem, and the members of the Senate to enter the House chamber, and will the messenger please escort them to their designated seats. I guess I don't have any authority over the members of the Senate, but I sure would appreciate House members taking your seats. And we're going to come to order, and I just want, this is quite a thrill for me to get to introduce the Lieutenant Governor for the first time. I tell people, first of all, he's a good man. Secondly, he had great training in this house. And I am looking forward to working with Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan. Please help me welcome to the podium the presiding officer for today's joint session, the Lieutenant Governor of Georgia, Jeff Duncan.
Thank you. Everyone, please take your seats. I've been looking forward to this day for a long time. Members of the General Assembly, the joint session will come to order. All members will take their seats. Mr. Sergeant at Arms.
President, the Honorable Harold Melton, Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, the Justices of the Supreme Court, and the Judges of the Court of Appeal wait entrance into the chamber.
Please allow the Honorable Melton, Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, the Justices of the Supreme Court, and the Judges of the Court of Appeals access to the chamber. The House Messenger will escort them to their seats. Will all members take their seats? Will the Secretary read a resolution?
House Resolution 14 by Representative Burns, the 159th, calling a joint session of the House of Representatives and the Senate for the purpose of hearing a message from the Governor inviting the Justices of the Supreme Court and the Judges of the Court of Appeals to be present at the joint session and for other purposes. Be it resolved by the General Assembly of Georgia that His Excellency, Governor Brian Kemp, is hereby invited to address a joint session of the House of Representatives and the Senate at 11:00 a.m. Thursday, January 17th, 2019, in the Hall of the House of Representatives. Be it further resolved that the joint session of the House of Representatives and the Senate be held in the hall of the House of Representatives at 10:45 a.m. on the aforesaid date for the purpose of hearing an address from His Excellency the Governor. Be it further resolved that a committee of 14, 7 from the House, named by the Speaker, and 7 from the Senate, to be named by the President of the Senate, to be appointed to escort His Excellency the Governor to the hall of the House of Representatives. Be it further resolved that the Justices of the Supreme Court and the Judges of the Court of Appeals are hereby extended an invitation to be present at the joint session. Be it further resolved that the Clerk of House of Representatives is hereby instructed to transmit a copy of this resolution to the Governor, to each Justice of the Supreme Court, and to each Judge of the Court of Appeals.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. At this time, I'd like to recognize some special people that we have here with us today. Would you please stand and be recognized? First, I'd like to recognize a good friend and the Speaker of the House, David Ralston. I'd like to recognize the Speaker Pro Tem, Jan Jones. President Pro Tem of the Senate, Butch Miller. Constitutional officers of the state of Georgia. Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms. Justices of the Supreme Court. And judges of the Court of Appeals. Three of our most distinguished guests here today. Miss Cherie Bradburn, First Lady of the House. One that is special to me, the First Lady of the Senate, Brooke Duncan. And the First Lady of Georgia, Marty Kemp. Would everyone please take your seats? Mr. Sergeant at Arms.
Mr. President, His Excellency, the Honorable Brian P. Kemp, Governor of the great state of Georgia, and the Committee of Escort await admittance into the chamber.
Mr. Sergeant at Arms, please allow the Honorable Brian P. Kemp, Governor of the great state of Georgia, and his Committee of Escort into the chamber. Everyone, please take your seats. What a great honor it is to stand here today and be given the opportunity to introduce the 83rd Governor of Georgia. Additionally, it's an honor to be back in these House chambers with so many friends and colleagues. Definitely a lot of good memories for me in this chamber here. And it feels like yesterday that I was sitting back there in that corner next to Representative Dewey McClain. And I'm not sure if your new seatmate has figured out yet, but you're very shy and timid and reserved. But sure enough, they will soon. Over the last 2 years, I've gotten to know Brian Kemp, Governor Kemp. I've gotten to know where he stands on policy. I've gotten to see how hard he works. And I've gotten to see how much he loves this great state of Georgia. For me, the most impressive part about Governor Kemp is his character. His integrity is unmistakable. He's always on a continual mission to do the right thing. His honesty is unmistakable. And his commitment to his family is unmistakable. Marty and the girls mean the world to him. And it doesn't take more than a second to recognize that when you walk in the same room with him. It is an honor for me to introduce to you my friend and our governor, Brian P. Kemp.
Hey, I appreciate you being accommodating with Marty today. It's going to be awesome. Appreciate that. Thank y'all very much. Yeah. Hey, it was good to see y'all. Thank y'all. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Is it time to go? Oh, my pleasure. Thank you. Thank you. Mike, you got a good week. Yes, sir. We're going to keep it going.
You want me to take this binder out of the way?
Yeah, that'd be great. Are you ready to go, Mr. Speaker? Very good. Thank you very much. Thank you all so much. It's an honor to be here. Lieutenant Governor Duncan, Speaker Ralston, President Pro Tem Miller, Speaker Pro Tem Jones, members of the General Assembly, constitutional officers, members of the Judiciary, Mayor Bottoms, and members of the Consular Corps, and my fellow Georgians. During the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus tells a parable about two builders. The wise builder built his house on the rock. As the parable goes, the rain came down, the floods came, but it didn't fall, for it was founded on the rock. But the second builder was foolish. He built his house on sand. There was a great storm, and his house washed away. As a builder, this story has always resonated with me. You have to pour concrete before you can frame a house. You must build on solid ground. Over the last 16 years, our state has experienced incredible growth and economic opportunity. Wages are rising, and the unemployment rate is the lowest in 18 years. Thanks to the hard work of the legislature, Georgia is now the top state for business 6 years in a row. With low taxes, a business-friendly government, and access to logistics hubs like the Port of Savannah and Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport, Georgia is the epicenter of job growth, the Hollywood of the South, and soon to be the cyber capital of the world. Through our state's oldest and largest industry, Georgia farmers are also feeding millions of people in countries across the globe. Thanks to the leadership and wisdom of Governors Sonny Perdue and Nathan Deal, Georgia has a solid foundation. The state of the state is rock solid. Over the last 8 years, we saw 800,000 brand new private sector jobs created in Georgia. These investments touch every industry imaginable. In agribusiness with machinery manufacturers like Caterpillar and Kubota, in food processing companies like Purdue Farms and Harrison Poultry, in aerospace and aviation with Gulfstream, Pratt & Whitney, and Travel Sky, in healthcare with Athena Health, Greenway Medical Technologies, and Kaiser Permanente, in cyber innovation with AirWatch, Honeywell, and Unisys, in manufacturing with Precision Products, Toyo Tire, and SK Innovation, and in transportation and supply chain infrastructure with Hapag Lloyd and Norfolk Southern Corporation. I applaud Governor Deal, Economic Development Commissioner Pat Wilson, and department officials for working to create economic opportunity, not only in Atlanta Metro, but in every corner of this great state. As governor, I will continue to work with state and local officials to recruit industry leaders to Georgia. Through the Georgians First Commission, we will review regulations that make it difficult for job creators to hire, expand, and invest. We will work to make government more efficient and put hardworking Georgians first. I'm confident that we can build a stronger, more diverse economy, and we can add a new designation for Georgia's resume, #1 for small business. With conservative budgeting, Georgia has maintained a AAA bond rating. Our rainy day fund now stands at $2.5 billion. Our fiscal house is certainly in order. Last year, the legislature lowered the state income tax rates and fully funded public school education. I'm confident that we can do it again. A lot of hard work on that for you guys. To enhance educational outcomes and build a 21st century state, we must invest in those who educate, inspire, and lead our students. 44% of our teachers leave the profession within the first 5 years. To recruit and retain the best and brightest in our schools, we must remove heavy burdens in the classroom and keep teacher pay competitive. My 2020 budget proposal includes a $3,000 permanent salary increase for certified Georgia teachers. This is the largest pay increase for teachers in Georgia history and serves as a sizable down payment on my promise to ultimately raise pay by $5,000. We will also include a 2% merit increase for all state employees. These hard-working Georgians play a vital role in serving our families and crafting Georgia's future. We must continue to reward their efforts. In addition to the investments in personnel, we also must prioritize school safety. In the amended budget for 2019, I have included $69 million in one-time funds for school security grants. All 2,294 public schools in our state will receive $30,000 to implement school security priorities determined by local school boards, administrators, teachers, parents, and students. But to keep our classrooms safe, we also must address the mental health issues that often lead to school violence. With $8.4 million in additional funding through the successful APEX program, we can focus on mental health in Georgia high schools. These professionals will engage with struggling students and provide critical resources to prevent potential disruptive and aggressive behavior. They will inspire, mentor, and keep our kids safe. Together, we will secure our classrooms and protect our state's most treasured assets, our children. With your help, we will continue to build. With places like Atlanta, Augusta, Savannah, and Columbus continuing to grow and thrive, it still feels like the Great Recession in parts of rural Georgia. Businesses are closing, opportunities are drying up, people are losing faith, but as governor, I will work to ensure that someone's potential is not determined by their zip code or their county. By working with the House Rural Development Council and their colleagues in the Senate, we can expand access to high-speed internet, quality health care, and a good education. Through strategic partnerships, we can ensure that every part of our state has access to opportunity, that kids can graduate and raise their families where they were raised, that local companies in rural Georgia can thrive, that farmers and agribusiness leaders can get their Georgia-grown products to the marketplace, and that every Georgian is equipped with the right tools to succeed. By working across party lines, we can and we will stand with those impacted by Hurricane Michael. Thank you. In the aftermath of the storm, I witnessed firsthand the devastation in South Georgia. The storm damaged forests, groves, and fields. It ripped away homes, churches, and livelihoods. Today, we are joined by a hardworking farmer who runs his family cotton, soybean, and timber farm in Donaldsonville, Georgia. He represents only one of the countless Georgians who took a severe hit from Hurricane Michael, but is determined to move forward. This farmer and family man, Greg Mims, sits in the gallery today, and it's my honor to recognize him. I want to thank President Trump, Vice President Mike Pence, Agriculture Secretary Sonny Perdue, Governor Deal, and you all, the members of the General Assembly, as well as Agriculture Commissioner Gary Black, for their solid leadership in the wake of this disaster. Thank you so much. I want to also applaud the efforts of officials at DNR, GEMA, the Georgia Forestry Commission, Georgia National Guard, Department of Public Safety, Department of Public Health, Department of Corrections, Department of Community Supervision, and all of the first responders who provided necessary aid after the storm. Thank you. We will continue these recovery efforts. Let's revive, rebuild, and renew hope in rural Georgia. There's no doubt that criminal justice reform will be a lasting legacy of the Deal administration. Without question, the leadership of Governor Deal and the General Assembly has changed our state for the better. I look forward to supporting initiatives that save costs, strengthen communities, and give nonviolent offenders a second chance at life. To keep all Georgians safe, we must build on these reform efforts. Today, I'm honored to have one of Georgia's most distinguished members of our law enforcement family here with us. He is a fighter in the strongest sense of a word and a true hero among us. Last year, he was wounded in the line of duty and nearly lost his life. While chasing a criminal, he was shot literally right between the eyes. After multiple surgeries, I'm proud to tell you that he's with us today next to his wife, Kristen, in the gallery. Help me in joining and thanking Covington Police Officer Matt Cooper. Coop, just know that we are continuing to pray for your recovery. As Georgians, we must never forget the sacrifices of our law enforcement community. Last year, 6 officers paid the ultimate price in protecting and serving Georgians' communities. To the loved ones of Locust Grove Police Officer Chase Maddox, Savannah Police Officer Anthony Christie, Ludowici Police Chief Frank McClellan Jr., Gwinnett Police Officer Antoine Toney, DeKalb Police Officer Edgar Flores, and Henry County Police Officer Michael Smith. You remain in our thoughts and our prayers. Their service, their service will never be forgotten, and we will always be forever grateful. Fellow Georgians, it's time to build. It's time to renew our commitment to public safety. It's time to honor those that we lost by taking action. As governor, I'm committed to addressing the rise of gang activity in our state, a growing threat requiring our immediate attention. According to a recent survey conducted by the Georgia Gang Investigators Association, there are over 71,000 validated gang affiliates and 1,500 suspected gang networks in our state. These gangs are pawns for the Mexican drug cartels, pushing opioids and drugs. They are buying and selling our children for sex. My budget proposal includes $500,000 in initial funds to form a gang task force within the GBI. This highly qualified group of experienced law enforcement personnel and prosecutors will work with local district attorneys and law enforcement to stop and dismantle gangs in Georgia. By utilizing the criminal gang and criminal alien database, which will be funded with existing resources from the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council, we will track and deport drug cartel kingpins who are terrorizing our communities. By working with attorney By working with Attorney General Chris Carr, federal, state, and local partners, we can undermine organized crime. Together, we can build a safer future for all Georgia families. Finally, while different parts of our state have unique challenges and concerns, all Georgians deserve a patient-centered health care system that puts families first. The status quo is unacceptable. 79 counties have no OBGYN. 64 counties, no pediatrician. 9 counties have no doctor. Insurers are leaving our state, and hardworking Georgians are struggling to pay their premiums. I have included $1 million in the Department of Community Health's budget to craft state flexibility options for Georgia's Medicaid program. We will expand access without expanding a broken system that fails to deliver for patients. We will drive competition and improve quality while encouraging innovation. I will work with the legislature to grow the rural hospital tax credit, tackle the doctor shortage, and build a healthier Georgia. As we envision and plan for Georgia's future, we should not forget how we got here, the road traveled, and the people who stood with us. Today, my wife Marty and our daughters Lucy, Jarrett, and Amy Porter are with us. I wouldn't be here without their support. Marty and I built businesses and a family together. She's as solid as a rock, and I know she's going to make a fine First Lady. I hope she doesn't know this, but today Marty is in the seat where her late father, Representative Bob Argo, once served. Thank you, Representative Hughley, for the honor of allowing Marty to share your seat today. That was an incredibly kind gesture. Mr. Bob was a good old Southern Democrat who never met a stranger. As many of you all know, he loved the Georgia Bulldogs, and he worked across the aisle to deliver for his district. Representative Argo raised Marty to be a fighter and a public servant. When I was frustrated as a business guy who wanted to make a difference, he encouraged me to run. He stood with our family through thick and thin. His legacy continues to inspire us daily. Representative Argo was a wise man, and he knew that building is faster when there's more people involved. We have more that unites us than divides us. Join us, and let's put hard-working Georgians first. I say pick up that hammer and some nails. Together, let's build a safer, stronger Georgia. Thank you so much. May God bless you, and God continue to bless this great state of Georgia.
Great job.
Thank you. Thank you. Where am I going?
You're holding this seat over here, and I'm going to bring it and send you down the aisle. Great job. Great job. Yeah. That was great with Marty and his dad. That was awesome. Thank you, Governor, for those comments, and I'm looking forward to serving with you. Madam Doorkeeper, please escort the Governor and his committee of escorts from the chamber at this time.
See you around.
Yeah, absolutely. You good? I'd like to call this joint session back into order. I'd like to recognize the Senate President Pro Tem.
Mr. President, I hereby move that this joint session of the Georgia Legislature be dissolved.
The question is on the adoption of the motion by the President Pro Tem that this joint session be dissolved. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, no.
No!
The ayes clearly have it, and this joint session is hereby dissolved.